2 o'clock. I'll bring this meeting to order.
Recording in progress.
Thank you, Chris.
This meeting is being recorded.
We got double. Confirmation of proper notice.
Notice was posted. Notice was posted on the 15th of February according to statutory
He
area.
doesn't have it on. Thank you.
Okay, Pam, roll call.
Yes. Cookie Finch. Roger Schultz.
Here.
Oh, he's on.
Oh, it's on Zoom?
Oh, he's on Zoom. Okay. Sorry, I'm here, obviously. And, Shannon Young.
Yay, back.
Steve Abul.
Here.
Dick Cola.
Here.
George Fisher.
Here.
Monica Heigl. She's still in Germany.
She's in Colorado.
Oh. Mark Howard.
Here.
Tammy Alborn.
Here.
Tiffany Conklin.
Here.
Barb Carey.
Here.
Gus Miller.
Here.
And John West.
Here.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Okay, quorum, thank you. All right, President's comments. Let's see. I want to welcome everybody that's here and those on Zoom. Somebody new? I know. Let's see, I just have a couple comments. I've noticed an increase in the electric bikes in the community. Seems, I don't know whether they're going through or they live here, but just a reminder that we don't want those being charged inside of a unit. If they're going to be charged, they should be in the front courtyard or the back courtyard, not inside. And scooters. We had one homeless encampment that the county came and removed them, cleaned it all up and everything. So that was nice. We got one that's, we're not sure whether anybody's in it or not, but there's another one that's sort of a little junky up there, but we're working on that. This past Saturday, we had a first annual pickleball tournament for Wildewood Springs, and let me tell you what, we had a great time. Mike Kinlaw, one of our newer residents, he sort of did most of it, and Joan Palmer and I did a bunch, and it was just a terrific time. On a separate note, but sort of coincided, we designed, Linda DeStefano back here and myself designed a shirt for pickleball Wildewood Springs, and that's the front.
Woo! Woo! Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Yeah, white short sleeve, long sleeve, white, green. If anybody who doesn't play pickleball is interested in getting one, I'm going to reorder. There you go, there's one. Just check with me after the meeting.
I would like, hang on a second here, where's that? I would like to know if this was an exclusive club, because I'm not sure that there were many of us professional pickleball players that were informed. I think there were many that were there, but there are others that might have wanted to challenge this elite group. So maybe next time the bulletin board should have some type of large signage on it. Thank you very much.
Bitter, bitter. Does he play pickleball?
Yeah, we had 16 teams, and great time. Yeah, it went from about 8 o'clock till about 1, I think. And the weather held out for us, thank God. So we will be doing this again.
Steve, I got a question.
Barbara, go ahead.
Did you get any pictures for the newsletter?
I have plenty of pictures for you.
Okay, great.
No injuries. No injuries.
Terrific.
Okay. That's all up for me. Has everybody reviewed the minutes? Barbara, Tiffany, motion to accept, second? Okay, that's second. Any opposed?
You're here. Left out some names. I think you left out some names.
No, I don't think it was the minutes, Shannon, it was the manager's report and where they were left out.
How about I stand corrected?
You know,
Did you read the
there's
minutes?
one in every one.
Yes. Did you read the minutes?
One, yes, yes.
Your name was in there, isn't it? All right, minutes have been approved. I was going to thank Shannon for something. Oh, that's right. It was all of Shannon's prayers that helped us with our insurance, which we'll get to later in the meeting. I want to make sure you get credit for that. Okay, regular meeting. Financial matters. Barbara?
Yeah, thank you. Income is pretty much on target. We just didn't have any late fees, so we're on the run for there. The expenses, we have a lot of ups and downs. It's typical early in the year. Administration is underrun basically because of insurance is budgeted at the predicted very high insurance level, but we don't know what the actual insurance bill is yet. So that you guys are going to get into momentarily. The grounds committee, that's a timing difference to do with fertilizing and tree trimming removal. Again, the budget it's budgeted straight line throughout the year, so we just haven't encountered most of that expense yet. Buildings, we're a little bit overrun due to some unforeseen electrical repairs. Security. Security is, I believe, John, it's a double billing. They didn't get the December billing last year. They just sent it to us. So we're overrun there for 2 months of billing. Pool and tennis, some unanticipated leak repairs, and utilities. Utilities is, it's a combination of timing of natural gas usage. So natural gas usage is budgeted evenly throughout the year, but we're going to be seeing overruns in the winter and spring months and underruns in the summer and 4 months, and they offset each other at the end of the year. So that's about $8,700. In addition to that is the increased price of treasury by TKT that came in after we did the budget last year. So, John, that came, John, I have that's about $5,500 over just in the month of January. Are we going to see that overage every month throughout the year? John?
The answer, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The answer, it would be yes, and what they did when I called for the rates, I may have asked the wrong question. I asked if there was going to be a rate increase like we get for water and sewer, and they said no. Well, what they did was charge dumpster rental fees now that they didn't inform us of. So we're now paying an upgraded dumpster fee for all the dumpsters we have, and that's why it's not in the budget, but it should continue, yes. So when we make an allocation of maybe excess funds as we go along, we'll probably want to allocate a little bit more into the now known rental fee from the county.
Yes.
Hold on a second. Ma'am,
Since we are now paying to rent these dumpsters, could we get decent dumpsters?
Sounds like a good idea. If we have it in the ground, we'll get it changed out there. You got some holes or something like that?
Ours doesn't close right.
Oh, okay, all right. And
Okay.
that's D cluster. Okay, thank you.
Any chance to buy those rather than rent?
Okay, the investment report, just want to start off where I have a typo, wherever it says interest earned year-to-date 2023, that should say 2024. So I apologize for that typo. I'll send you a corrected copy, John, for the office files. So far, as of the end of January, we have $1.491 million of reserve funds invested, with $1,000 earned just for the month of January. And operating funds, those two CDs were just liquidated last Friday. That's in time for the insurance bill to come in. And that liquidation came to about $407,000 and change. So we've earned a good amount just for the month of January, almost $4,100 in interest on investing those operating funds while we're waiting for the actual insurance bill to come in. And that's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
thank you, Barbara.
I did want to mention that there were 2 pages in the board package called All Investment Activity. I'm not sure why they were in the board package. Those are the Edward Jones activity on the CDs for the month of January, and they usually go over, and they did go over to the bookkeeper so they can do their accounting entries. So I'm not sure why it's in the board package.
Okay, thank you, Barbara.
You can blame the brand new second job that I have, and that's being the secretary.
Okay, accounts receivable.
Yes, accounts receivable as of 31st of January, five units own 1 quarter, 1 unit owns 2 quarters, 3 quarters and more, none, and units currently with legal issues, none.
Wow.
So we're in good shape.
That's fantastic. Very good. Old business, building repairs.
I noted in the report that you received that we were going to have a building committee meeting this morning with the contractor, and sure enough we did. He came and we took a look and made some color choices. I guess we're going to be painting the surfaces with terracotta, as I understand, and I think Steve has a copy of the color chart. We're going to start this process the April 8th, and the first ones we're going to work on, which is the resealing and resurfacing of the top slab as you walk into the second story units. We're going to do the ones that are leaking first, because we want to make sure that all the underpinning that we've just replaced won't get damaged or rotted. And then we'll be trying to do about 10 a week, so that means it could be as much as a 5 to 6 week process. We decided to wait until after Easter, when some people go home, so they won't be impacted. But basically, any of you who live upstairs, the process will include power washing on the day before, and the next day they'd come in and put the sealant down and put the various caulking and what have you, and the painting, and it takes about 4 hours to dry. So hopefully we'll either do it when you want to sleep in late, or you may not be there, you may go to the beach or what have you. But we'll need about 4 hours of non-walking once we start the project.
And we'll coordinate that with everybody.
Yeah. We also had a request to build a third wall to the unit of 364, and that unit was tabled. That request was tabled for further investigation. And then I guess I don't want to take up your time with your building report later, but just snuck out, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
And primarily to go back where Steve talked about earlier, we had somebody who requested a ramp be built to take an electric bike into the unit so they could charge it within the unit. And of course, we don't want that to happen, so that was declined. Even, we're not saying you couldn't charge it. What we're saying is they could go through the expense of bringing an outlet out to their front courtyard and do the same thing without having the chance of an explosion or a fire inside a unit. And many units have the exterior plug-in, some don't. But it's not a very expensive thing to have it run through the wall. So we're not empathetic to the request. It's just we don't want it done inside.
Next item is right back to electrical service.
Again, we're having an issue that's been kind of trickling in 5 or 6 years ago. We might have had a 1 or 2 a year. But this is where Florida Power and Light is responsible to bring the power into the transformers that that are near the carports. And then there's a line from the transformers that go to what they call a handhold. It's by each unit. It's by a series of units. And then there's a line that goes from that handhold to the meter. Well, those are the lines that are failing and basically our responsibility to replace. And so we've probably replaced 15 or 16 in the last 5 years. It seems like it's happening more and more as the wiring ages. Right now we've got, I think it's 440, 438 and 439 has a temporary, and 538 and 539 coincidentally has a temporary, and the service to pool 5 is also on a temporary basis. Once we get an appointment from FP&L, should they not do the work, we'll do the replacement.
Operations manual.
I would like to propose the Board of Directors to accept the submitted operation manual and the employee manual. We had a meeting at the beginning of February, and we looked at some of the questions that were asked of the committee, and we explained why we did some things, how we came up with other things. Basically, everything in the operation manual is comprised of the governing documents from the Florida Statute 718, the Declaration of Condominiums, the Wildewood Springs Articles of Incorporation, and the bylaws, the rules and restrictions. And that's what we did when we were working on the manuals. What we did was we removed. She's shutting me up.
What?
I second the motion.
Going on, before she shut me up, in the operation manual, all we did was organize it more and remove some of the redundancies that were in there, and made it both the operation manual and the employee manual to move forward into the future because it doesn't get updated very often. That's all.
Okay, I knew somebody was going to put their card up. Surprise, surprise. Yes, John.
My concern is that we have not seen it as a board what it looks like now. There were several questions that we had when we sent it back to committee, and I'm sure you did a great job putting something together, but several of those things I think are still up in the air in regards to my acceptance of it anyway. Hard to vote on something I haven't seen.
I've sent it out.
Yes?
It was emailed to everybody.
Then I will accept my blame, but I didn't see it. When did it come out?
Last week. 3 weeks? 3 weeks ago.
Yes, that was when we sent it back to committee, was it not?
No.
I have sent it back out after all of the stuff was changed and it was in red.
Okay.
So everything has been in red that was changed.
I am sorry that I am the one that's wrong.
No problem.
I know that it was sent out February 13th, so it's 6 days ago.
We had to make it about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks. All the stuff that was questioned.
I think everything that was questioned was addressed. So,
I just realized that I did not come to the meeting that you discussed it with. I take everything back. I will read it.
I call the vote.
yeah, go ahead.
Cookie Finch.
Accepting the operations and employee name.
Yes. Roger Schultz. Oh, Rogers?
Yes.
I obviously do. Shannon?
Yes, with thanks.
You're welcome. Steve Aboul?
Yes.
Dick Piccola?
Yes.
Denny Palmer? Sorry about that, Denny. George Fisher?
Yes.
Mark Howard?
Yes.
Tammy Alborn?
Yes.
Tiffany Conklin?
Yes.
Barb Carey?
Barb's not on anymore.
Okie dokie. Gus Miller?
Yes.
And John West?
Under the advice of my committee members, I totally agree.
It has passed unanimously.
Okay, very good. That's been a long time coming. Okay, now, the thing that everybody's been waiting on, insurance renewal package. I'll give a little bit and then I'm gonna turn it over to John. We talked to Joe this morning, the latest. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave.
I wanted to make I just want to make a brief comment. This has been in the works for probably 2.5 years, and I think that we should, although it's on the committee, probably 80 or 90% of the work, as far as I'm concerned, was done by Tammy in terms of redoing, retyping, organizing. So I'd just like to express an appreciation to her on behalf of the association.
Job well done. Okay, insurance. Like I said, I'll just be real brief, and then I'm going to turn it over to John. We've been working with Joe, bugging him for the last month. And, the first time we talked, he said, well, we've got it down to about a 25% increase over last year, which is a lot better than what we were expecting, 100%. But talking to him this morning, what was he down to, 15%?
15, yes.
15%, and we're still pushing to get it down to 10%, but we won't know that for another day or so. But that's a lot better than what we expected, and that remains at full value. Now, the lower insurance, I'm going to let John explain that. It just did not really come through for us to drop it. The other companies wanted you to drop it all the way to 5 million or 2.5 million. That's just not going to do it. We would have to have at least 10 to 15 million. And that was going to cost as much as keeping the full value with ACIC versus going to a smaller company that was, what was the word he used?
Non-admitted.
Non-admitted.
That's the key here, because admitted companies that have the backbone of the state of Florida,
Right.
they fail.
Yeah, the non-admitted would be a company that if something bad happened, they could just go belly up and the state would not back them up. And that we don't want to get into. So, all right, we'll let you finish.
Okay, first of all, just for the record, the amendment that the owners voted on has been registered with the circuit court. It is in place. The next major mailing that we have, we will send that out to everybody, so you'll put that with your declaration of condominium and your records. I don't think we want to do a special mailing just to send it out. We know it's there. As you're right, last year, it was $780,000 our insurance premium was. And of course, the budget was, we were told to put a minimum of close to $1.5 million. Now it looks like the wind portion of that is 680, and if we have a 15% increase, we'll end up with something about, somewhere I wrote it, scribbled it.
I think it was 862. Thank you.
Our premium this year for wind probably will be about $862, and considering everything else is about $75,000, it looks like our total increase, instead of double, will be about $100,000. So we're very, very appreciative, but we were hoping for more. We were led to believe that if we did this change in values, especially for the wind, there'd be an appreciable decrease on top of that. The good news is we have it in effect now for maybe in the future. Things came to fruition. Thank you to Marv for pushing it through so quickly. At best, it was going to be maybe for next year, but we were able to find out something this year that gave the experience for next year. Where it's going to go next year, I don't know. What we're going to do, ultimately the board will have to look at what the surplus funds are and what we have to plan for next year. And with this possibility to take some money from the insurance and put it against the $5,500 trash to even that out. But then there will be some funds there that the board will have to discuss what they wish to do with.
No. What was the final figure that we have now?
Well, we don't have one, but right now it's anticipated to be $862,000. And right now, sequestered in the bank, we have $1 million. So we don't even need to worry about the next 2 months to put toward that fund. So that's good. It's very good shape that way.
And once the board looks at all this, we'll probably, I'm not going to say how much, but the maintenance fees for the last 2 quarters of this year will most likely go down.
Okay.
That's the good news.
Wow.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is
You should also verify what you did. You only got a little bit of a clause here, but there was a lot of diligence done.
Let's fix in the microphone.
Come here.
You received minimal applause. I just think that everyone who worked on this project should be recognized, and that all the homeowners of the association are very, very grateful for your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, seal coating, Main Boulevard.
The project is scheduled, and like right now, it looks like 2.5 weeks from now, we'll have everything in order as far as the dates of what will be closed off and not. It's about 3 weeks till actually the application will happen. And so that's ready to go. And it will be somewhat circuitous because there's two sides of the street and they have to have it open, and it's going to be interesting, okay? We could probably leave Spring Lakes closed for 2 or 3 days if we want to, but that's enough.
Good.
It would be easier that way.
Hey, John, are you gonna have those, look at bulletin board signs up again?
Yes.
Would you spell bulletin correctly, please?
I'll talk to Jeff about that. Okay. That's a good point. You're right.
Okay, annual meeting dates, everybody got those, John?
Everybody should have hopefully by now received the information regarding our annual meeting, which is always the second week instead of the third week where we have our normal board meetings. It'll be March 11th. It'll be here. It'll be at 1 p.m. instead of 2. And there will be elections. Each village, each year, has an opening. And what's transpired is that it depends on how many people file for the application to run. If only one does, they're automatically elected by state statute. And automatically elected, there will be Dan DiStefano from Pinehurst. Stephen Buell is automatically re-elected to Springdale. Shannon Young, now we're putting your name in there, is automatically re-elected to Sherwood. Here again, I'm saying that these are the only people that apply. Tammy Alburn for Lakeside Village, Tiffany Conklin for Woodland. In Sherwood, we have Pam. Unfortunately, her name was misspelled when it was sent out. She's not Pam Mula, so we rectify that, okay? So Pam Flanagan is running, and also running is Debbie Dial Puma. And the Woodland, Oak and Oakview, we have Gus Miller running for re-election, and Marianne Staubach has also filed, so that election is ongoing. Should you get these envelopes, especially the only one who votes or within that village is, please try to follow the directions. We've already had to try to run down the votes. I hate to see anybody vote and not have it counted, but the state is very specific on what they want. You take the ballot, you check one, you take that ballot and you put it in an envelope that's called the ballot. Then you fold that up and you put it into the ballot enclosed envelope and sign the outside. That's the way they designed it. If it's not done that way, it's automatically invalid. If you put anything in there, get well card or proxy or anything else, the same thing happens. So we try to sensitize or investigate when these things come in. And if you get a call from me or somebody knocks on your door and says, please sign this, you didn't sign it, or could you open this up because this feels awful thick, doesn't feel like it's just a ballot in there. We're just trying to make your vote count, okay? That's statute. And also I left out that Picola is automatically re-elected for director at large. See you all on March 11th.
Did you mention the proxy?
Oh, well, yes, that's a very good point, Steve. Of course, it takes 280 unit owners to make a quorum. It's rare that 280 unit owners come. So it's very important that you submit your proxy just as you did in the vote for insurance. So we can conduct the meeting and conduct the business of the association. I can see a swell already from our effort earlier on the insurance, because many proxies are coming in early, but we need to get to that 280. We did well over 400 for the insurance. It'd be nice if we can get it to the 300s at least. Okay? Please, if you have questions, call. If you didn't get the mailing or you have a question about it, please call the office. We'll handle it for you.
Okay, that's good, because I had somebody this morning at the pickleball court ask me, well, why do I have to send the proxy and we're not voting on anything? And I said, no, we have to have the proxies, even though there's no vote involved, they have to come.
We go further to even suggest, even if you're going to be there, submit the proxy, because otherwise it'll cause a long line going in and out, and if there's 15 or 20 people waiting to check in, if you're already signed in, you just breeze by and sit down and relax. So turn to your proxy, it works.
Okay, status on the cable, internet, and fiber optics. We've had 2 fiber optic companies in. We've had a big meeting with them, and then we had Spectrum in just a week ago. The board still has to, we have plenty of time actually to, work on that, but you want to take it?
Sure. The Spectrum contract expires October 31st, 2025. The presentations are for today's future as far as fiber optics. As everybody knows, sometime along the line, it'll be positive to join it, whether now's the time or not is something, but if we to convert to fiber optics, it takes a year for their installation, and so really we've got to make a decision before 3 or 4 months is what we need. So people are putting together various comparisons. There's some monies to be saved on one. There's one's a different price. The other one depends on programming, and it just goes on and on. But it's something that ultimately I think will be, if it's positive and we go with fiber optics, we join the future. If it's money saving and it's appreciable, that'll be up to the board decision, because we're looking at all those options.
John, would the board still be looking at?
Whoa.
Just a real quick question.
Yes, Karen.
Karen Banger, y'all. I just have a quick question. Will the board still be looking at paying like they do now, the standard going forward, as they do now for the properties that have the vehicle and all that?
I'm sorry, going forward with what?
Whatever you go with, like Spectrum now, they pay the standard that's in, the board pays it, it's already paid, we don't have to pay it.
Right.
Will they still keep it that way?
Oh yes. Yeah, that'll be good, yes. Good question.
Good question.
Okay, moving on. New business.
Communication, and a very positive one, if I might say, from Gina Smith, 125 Pinehurst Drive. Gina sent an email to all the county commissioners regarding our homeless situation, and it just so happened that just after this one guy came back and set up camp, he had a heck of a camp going there. He had a tent, he had a coverage, he had 2 bicycles, he had 2 Publix carts, he had hangers with shirts on the tree. I was worried it was going to take us a month to evict him just to get his stuff out of there, but Gina noted this and she sent the information to the commissioners along with telephone calls from our office, and believe it or not, within 2 days out came the county enforcement and they hauled everything away, cleaned it up neat as a pin. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe how clean they made it, and they hauled him out of there. So I included Gina's communication to the county in the packet to say, because she was very strong in the impetus of them coming out, and she wrote it well. And she should be commended.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. You got dates?
Yes, we've got a couple of events that require the board approval. It is anticipated that they wish to schedule the spring fling that everybody waits for each year, March 16th, which is a Saturday. And committees about to be formed. our social chairman, Cynthia Ingram, is ready to go with it, and all we need is an approval date. They're asking for March 16th.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I second.
Okay.
Any opposed? Okay, very good. Accepted.
Secondarily, I guess, what would you call yourself, Dennis? Your producer? Yeah. Okay. Our producer that put on a couple of really nice shows last year is proposing to have another show with singing involved on Friday, March 222nd. I guess it would be March 22nd. A little typo there from Ken. And so the board would like approval to go forth. To have it'll be an evening with, Dennis, you want to explain a little bit to it?
Sure. So
By the microphone.
Oh, yeah, microphone. Let me turn it on. Okay. So, it would need, basically what I've done is I've gotten the people from last year who are singing, plus there's another young lady that's actually has a wonderful voice. And what we would do is start it at about 7 o'clock or 7:30. We have lights so that it goes into the evening and the lights come up while they're singing. And it's probably an hour-and-a-half show of live music, and it's free to the community. You bring your chairs and so on and so forth. And that's it. If there's anybody else who'd be interested, just pass the word and let me know. I like to hear the people first. All these people are very good. 2 of them are professionals, so that's it.
Thank you.
I move we accept March 22nd for our musical.
Anybody opposed? Okay, so moved. That's
Finally, under general items, the Wildewood Springs Condominium Association Corporate Charter has been renewed for 2024 with the state of Florida. That's a yearly event that we do each year. A blockage is developed in the office toilet system, and a resin block was found in the line. Obviously, while no one was there, the only thing we can think of is that somebody came in and poured a resin material down the drain of our sink in the back. Twice, I mean, we took out, we had to have outside service, but we took out bars, thin bars of resin. How that got into the toilet system, we have no idea other than that drainage back there. It must have gone into the liquid and solidified. Believe it or not, we had to have 2 different people, two different occasions because it floated around. And then secondary, just as I left the office, we noticed it again. But we have now our own jet that goes out 200 feet. So instead of calling anybody else, we're going to try to fix it ourselves. But somebody poured something down there, and I don't believe it was intentionally to do that. I just think they didn't realize what they were putting in the system. Because to have these hard, like almost a brick, 6 inches long and 2 inches, had to be formed by some kind of material put in there. So we did that. And finally, very busy since the last meeting, we handled 381 service calls and requests. That's it on that.
okay, very good. Committee reports. Well, we had a building committee this morning where we looked at a proposed wall. We have some questions, so that's tabled till our next meeting, which is going to be on the 18th of March, 10 a.m. We looked at a water problem down in Sherwood, and we're coming up with a strategy for that. What else happened? I guess.
Well, we had the painter we talked about earlier, and we denied the request for the grant for the
Yeah, there's about 2 of them in the association. They'd like to put a wall across. And it's going to be a wood wall with stucco, so you'll see the same thing. But because of the tree roots and stuff, we can't do a foundation. But we're looking at the materials, and we're going to talk to the contractor about the materials that he's using.
If you're walking in that area, it's, you know, in the rear, it's 364, you can take a look at it.
Yep.
But it was tabled until next time.
I have a question. If they build a wall for that condo, is that area deeded over to that condo?
Absolutely. All those big trees that are in there become their responsibility, not ours.
Well, I wouldn't say it's deeded, it would just be that they're taking the responsibility and they would have to sign a waiver that they would be responsible for it, but it would never be on the deed.
Why not?
I don't think we want to go to the expense of doing it.
Well, they would have to go to that expense, wouldn't they?
It's up to anything you want to do, right? You know, main thing is we're concerned about the responsibility of who's going to maintain the trees and everything else in there. But good point, good point.
Committees, IT.
Okay, we've been spending a fair amount of time taking a look at the association documents which are available to the public. It's on our About menu. Lynn Corcoran has been really taking the lead on it. She talked to John about the documents. Are they the right ones? Is the wording right? And so it includes, one of the most important ones is the application for occupancy that everybody who takes up residence here has to fill out. And there's a background check that we've also made some adjustments to. There's an estoppel request. There's a request for lenders to fill out. So there's a number of documents that had been kind of outdated and needed to be looked at, and Lynn has taken the lead on that, and all those documents are up now on the website and with the changes made. We have a meeting coming up this Friday, so if anyone's interested in stopping by the office or zooming in, we meet 10 o'clock Friday morning.
And you're right, she did a heck of a job. I mean, she spent a lot of time doing that.
Cool.
The food committee voted to order 7 higher lounge chairs, one for each pool, and that will come from the reserves. Due to the workshop on March 5th, the pool committee will be on March 6th, which is a Wednesday, at pool 3 at 10 o'clock. The courtyard sale, from everybody that I've talked to and that John had talked to, said it really went well and people got to sell a lot of their old treasures. So great, congratulations on that. Lastly, Steve, the ad hoc committee has completed their specific mission and need. At this time, I would like, with your permission, to dissolve the committee.
Very good. Approved.
Thank you.
Landscape.
Besides regular everyday maintenance, we get out as often as possible to check the property for any missing plants, dead plants, anything that has to be replaced. Because once we get ahead of it, we want to stay ahead of it. And thanks to Gus and a lot of volunteers and back to Oakview, between there and the pool, they cleaned out 3